PlayStation fan too. Respect my time. I got a wife and kids. Respect my time. I got a wife. Respect my time. I got a wife and kids. But this is great for gamers.
Yo, what is good, people, man? It's your boy Persona, Game with Persona, an episode. Wait, hold on. I just messed up my whole intro. It's been a while, guys. It's been a long time. Hold on. What's good, people? It's your boy Persona, Game with Persona, one half of the What's Up PlayStation podcast crew. And welcome to episode 239 of When Persona Speaks. Oh! It's been so long. It's been so long. Listen, guys. Shout out to y'all, man. Big shout out to y'all in the chat. You know, round of applause. I ain't shout everybody out yet. I'm getting ahead of myself. Hold on. Listen, it's been a long time, guys. Cut me some slack. It's been a while. Listen, if you're at work, I hope I could get you through your work day. If you're on your way home from work or school, I hope I could get you through your commute home. Listen, you might be at home cooking dinner, cleaning up, doing homework with the kids because school has started. I hope I could get you through your session. Listen, you might be taking a shower. I don't know. Cleanliness is closer to godliness. Listen, you might be having the matters with the significant other. I don't know. I just appreciate you putting me on. Yo, big shout out to everybody in the chat, man. Listen, I appreciate y'all so much coming through the episode 239 of When Persona Speaks, man. Let me shout out the folks in the chat, man. Let me do things right. It's been a long time, man. We got to do things right. Lorenzo Carson in the building. Lorenzo, how you feeling today? J-Ro49 in the building. Ice Queen Gaming, or the Queen of Ice, is in the building. Who's that? Oh, Hemi G in the building. JP Loco, Philip DVG, Henry Heck, Teasy the Goat, Prince Philip, Julian Johnson, Dre Watson, J Lou, Kratos 99, Prime House, Jenna Hayes, Prince Philip, Uppercase J in the building. Requiem of Demons in the building. DC Gaming in the building. Who else is here, man? Shout out to y'all in the chat, man. Shout y'all out. Let me know in the chat how the audio is. Am I coming through clear? Is the background music too loud, too low? Let me know in the chat as well. I want to make sure everything is as high quality as possible. Y'all know how to do things here. Who else is here? Who else? Yo, Juan Sosa Gaming in the building. Shout out to Juan. Bro Sum in the building. Shout out to you, Bro Sum. Who else? Prince Philip. Make sure I get everybody. Make sure I get it. Yo, C Fresh, what's good, bro? Appreciate you, man. Shout out to C Fresh in the building. Yo, Johnny Gaming in the building. What's going on with you, man? Bird in the building. Shout out to my boy Bird in the building. Didi Vito in the building. Appreciate y'all in the chat, man. Appreciate y'all in the chat. Yo, Jay Suede in the building. What's going on? Stony in the building. What's going on with y'all, man? Shout out to Barry, man. 29 months as a member on the channel. What? Shout out to my bro Barry, man. He says, I love gaming. What up, nerd? Yo, shout out to my bro Barry. Yo, big shout out to DVG, Philip DVG, man. Appreciate you for the super chat. He says, Starfield delivered more crashes than Activision. Whoa. You are going too far, DVG. Who else? Yo, Prime House at Persona. How's the Armored Core gameplay going? I just about halfway through New Game Plus. Hey, man, I'll be honest. I've been really stuck on Sea of Stars Prime. That's really the main game I've been playing this week. Dabbled a little bit into some Call of Duty. But Sea of Stars really has its hook. It really has its hooks in me right now. No cap. It really does have its hooks in me. So I've been playing a lot of Sea of Stars. I'm gonna try to get some Armored Core in this weekend. Because I've been kind of neglecting Armored Core for the past couple weeks. Don't tell nobody. Don't beat me up, chat. Don't beat me up. I'm sorry. Okay. But Sea of Stars, I really want to get the Sea of Stars Platinum too. That's one of the biggest things as well. I really want to get the Sea of Stars Platinum. So that's kind of been my main focus, and I kind of put a lot of other games to the back burner for now, while I work to get that stuff work to try to get this platinum. I think I'm close to the end in Sea of Stars. At least it feels like the end. I haven't really looked at the trophies too much. I kind of just been going in blind in terms of the trophies. It doesn't feel like the end, but it feels like something major is about to happen in the game. You feel me? So I'm kind of hooked in on Sea of Stars. No cap. I'm hooked. I'm at like 33, 34 hours in the game. I love it, man. I love the game. Who else? Yo, shout out to Lorenzo Carson for the super chat. He says Starfield is loading in greatness. Y'all starting early. Y'all starting early. Ooh wee. And a shout out to DC Gaming, 14 months as a member on the channel, 1 year and 2 months. Big shout out to you, DC Gaming. Good guy, man. Good bro in the chat, man, and out here in this community. He says, some gaming tips for the weekend for you. Press R2 to shoot in Call of Duty. Hey, yo, you know what? We're going to talk about that on today's show, too. I put out a tweet talking about pet peeves, but I want to kind of like, I want to talk about why I put that out, right? I'm going to talk about why I put that out there, man. Like, y'all going to laugh. But definitely tell me y'all gaming pet peeves too, man. But listen, put a 1 in the chat if you're feeling great. Put a 2 in the chat if you're feeling okay. Put a 3 in the chat if you're not feeling that great at all. But I gotta be honest with you, if you're sitting at a 3, I'm gonna want to get you to at least a 2. Oh, that's 4. 2 by the end of the show. By the end of the show, I want you to be at least a 2 if you're at a 3 right now. You feel me? I'm seeing a lot of 1s. I'm seeing a lot of 1s. The 1s are making me happy. The 1s are making me happy. Oh, Jamil, you had a 3? No. No 3s. No 3s. We're going to get you to a 2, Jamil. I got you. Iman Rich, the swag lord. What's good, bro? Barry said 4 out of 10. Messi. Yo, Alex E, what's good? Shout out to y'all in the chat, man. Match Produce, what's good, man? That guy Smitty in the building. True Bleed in the building. Harlem PS Gamer in the building. Damien in the building. Damien, you are a 3? Absolutely not. Absolutely. Damien, stop playing with me. Absolutely not. We gonna get that to a 2. Stop playing with me. I'm seeing a lot of 1s. Freddy 214, what's good, bro? Dark Prince in the building. Hey guys, listen. Can we vibe out for just 2 more minutes? I just want to vibe out for a little bit. Can we vibe out for 2 more minutes before we start the show? I just want to vibe out. I only vibe out if the chat say it's okay to vibe out. Can we vibe out for 2 more minutes, guys? I just want to vibe out. Yo, Weezer, what's good, man? Yo, Phillipson, what's good? I just want to vibe out for 2 more minutes. I'm feeling good, man. It's Friday. It's a great day. It's a great day out here, man. It's a great day, man. It's a great day, man. We're closer to Spider-Man. 1 week closer to Spider-Man. Let's vibe out for a couple more minutes, guys. Just for a couple more minutes. Let's vibe out. I just want to vibe out for a few more minutes. I just want to vibe out for a few more minutes. I'm feeling good, man. I'm feeling really good. We are 1 week closer to Spider-Man. Yo, Mooch in the building. Who's yelling? Stop yelling. Shout out to my boy Mooch in the building. Make sure you guys check out Mooch's podcast, Crossfire, tonight, 7 o'clock Eastern. Don't miss that on Mooch's channel. Make sure you guys go check that out. Oh, yeah, y'all hear that? Ooh. Y'all don't hear that. 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 Y'all don't hear the beat. I'm feeling good, man. I'm feeling good today, man. Yo, B-Dog, what's good, bro? I told y'all this a while ago. Patrona, a DJ on the side. Don't let him fool y'all. Yo, Damien, you funny, bro. I wish I was a DJ, man. Yo, Bell R in the building. What up? Oh, we vibing. We vibing on this Friday. Listen, I know a lot of y'all are probably off work, or you're close to being off work. If you drink, go and get you a nice cold beer, or get you some Crown or a nice little shot. Listen, we about to vibe out tonight, guys. We vibing. Yo, we vibing out tonight. It's gonna be fun tonight. You feel me? It's gonna be absolute fun tonight. Trust me. Ooh-wee. Put the drink emoji in the chat if you already got your drink. Put the drink emoji in the chat if you already got your drink. I know y'all got it. I know y'all got y'all drinks already. Put the drink emoji in the chat. Throw that drink emoji in the chat. Even if you got water, because I got water. I got water. I'm out here. I know Stone to be proud. Your boy got the water. Put the drink emojis in the chat. Even if you got water, put those drink emojis in the chat. Oh yeah, we vibing. Oh yeah, we vibing. Oh, I see the drink. I see the drink emojis. I see the drink emojis. Oh, y'all out here drinking. Ooh, wait, I gotta get on y'all level. Shit. All right. I gotta talk to y'all for a second before we get in the show. I know a lot of y'all are probably like, yo, Persona, where the hell have you been? Where have you been, Persona? You owe me a couple videos. Where have you been? I gotta be honest with you guys. I needed a longer break than I thought, right? I figured like 2 weeks, you know, take a break. It was the summertime. I'm like, I'll take a 2 week break and then come back and kind of like, you know, whatever. And I needed longer than that, man. I was sitting there. I was in the middle of about to set up a show, right? And I was just sitting here. I was like, yo, man, I just need a break from all this. Like straight up, I was just like, in my head, I was just like, yeah, I just need a break. I need a break. I'm gonna take the summer off and just chill. Straight up. Yeah, you see, you know, obviously, you know, What's Up PlayStation podcast, you know, me and Barry still did that or whatever. You know, but that's really all I did. Maybe did a space here and there or hopped in somebody's space or whatever. But real life, you know, in real life, you know, it's just a lot going on, you know, at work and you know, certain things and big projects and, you know, personal things in my life and stuff that I'm, you know, dealing with right now or whatever. I was like, you know, I just need a break. Only because and one of the biggest reasons, because my, you know, one of the things that I always tell you guys is, you know, I when it comes to like my show and even What's Up PlayStation podcast, you know, I always like to have great energy. You know, I never want to pass off bad vibes or bad energy off to you guys, right? For those that come through, watch me, you know, and vibe out with me in the chat and stuff like that. And if my energy is not there, I don't think it's fair to you guys, right? I gotta be honest, man, my energy throughout the summer just wasn't there. Not the way I wanted it to be. And I was like, yo, man, I need a break, man. I need a long break of just not really having to focus on that. And so that's what I did. Took a break. I feel, you know, it's great because I'm coming back and I feel good. I'm excited. I know I said I was gonna do the show Monday, but work and just, you know, a lot of stuff. Yo, listen, for those that work, I think you understand, right? You know, when you got like a lot of things that you're dealing with, like in the day-to-day life, man, it's like, yo, sometimes when I come home, I really just want to, or like even if I'm like working from home and I log out, I'm just like, yo, man, I just want to decompress. So, I was like, yeah, man, you know, I definitely didn't want the week to end without doing a show for sure. But yeah, man, that was kind of like where my head was at. You feel me? Where I was just like, yeah, man, my energy is not necessarily there 100%. So I was like, let me just take a bit of a sabbatical. You feel me? Plus there was like a ton of games that I just wanted to like get through and just like hyper focus on and stuff like that. So I was just like, fuck it, man. I'm just gonna take a little mini sabbatical and come back in September and you know, vibe out with the community. One of the great things about the people, you know, y'all that rock with me and rock with my channel or even rock with WUPS or whatever, you know, I think a lot of y'all are real understanding of that as well. Like y'all get like, yeah, man, listen, you know, Persona gonna take a little break. We get it. We still gonna be here, you know. So I really appreciate, you know, the community that, you know, rock out with me. And y'all know what it is, man. Like, you know, sometimes I think a lot of you understand, like, yo, sometimes you need a break, you know. And the fact that, you know, y'all still subscribed and, you know, come through and rock out, I appreciate y'all, man. Y'all know I appreciate you. Listen, round of applause to the folks in the chat. Persona, stop lying. What's he name? What's he say? What's her name? Hey, yo, True Bleed, you funny. You know, we can't divulge that information, sir. We can't divulge that information, sir. So yeah. But today, guys, we back. First show of September. There's a lot of great stuff that we got to talk. You know, it's a lot of stuff that I want to talk about, man. There's so much, right, to talk about, especially with Starfield being out. Now, listen, for those who came to my Starfield live stream, you know, that was really cool. You know, it was an, you know, I can't really speak to it too much just yet, but from what I've played of it, it's okay. It's not really, in my opinion, something that I would write home about or really clamor to get back to, based off, you know, the 2 or 3 hours that I put into the game, respectfully. But, you know, Starfield, and I think we all knew this, right? I think we all knew that Starfield was going to be a game that was definitely going to be very polarizing to the community. So what I mean by that is, because, you know, we're, you know, from the Xbox side of things, Xbox is coming from, you know, the failure that is Redfall, and putting, you know, a lot of people putting a lot of stock into Starfield. There was definitely a lot of pressure on both Bethesda and Microsoft, and really the Xbox community, at least the community on Twitter. When I say the community, I'm also speaking about people on Twitter, because people in real life, they don't give a shit about this stuff, right? There was a lot going into, there was a lot riding on this game and its success and its enjoyment. And, you know, I'm happy to see, you know, and I mean this too, like, I'm happy to see people genuinely enjoying the game, right? I do think it's a little, with certain people, not all people, when I say this, I do think it's a little bit funny that, you know, there are certain people who wouldn't show their gamer tag, like, you know, like, I'll say this. I definitely see some people kind of overcompensating. And what I mean by that is, like, you know, people who normally wouldn't show like their gamer time or how long they've been playing a game or something like that. From people that you never see post that stuff, I see them posting it with this game. And it's funny to me because, like, to me, it looks like they're trying to overcompensate. They're overcompensating, oversell, you know, they're trying to, you know, convince themselves of something because of how, you know, certain people feel or view Starfield, right? I've been seeing that quite a bit from certain people, not all people, you know, for a lot of people, I know that it's genuine excitement, genuine joy and things like that, you know, I'm not trying to take from that, right? I think it's really good that people are enjoying Starfield, as you should, right? Play the game, enjoy the game, complete the game, right? I think that stuff is great. You feel me? But from the usual suspects, we all know who that is. The fact that there is a bit of overcompensating when it comes to Starfield, it's quite funny, in my opinion, right? One of the funniest things to me when it comes to excuse me. One of the funniest things to me that when it comes to the community, right? And you guys know, whenever when I speak on a lot of things gaming, I always like to take a viewpoint of from the community perspective, right? Because when it comes to this side of the community where we all tend to congregate, you know, the flip-flopping, it's astounding how much it tends to happen. You feel me? You know, one of the things that I always laugh at is, like, you know, with a big game, the reviews, right? This is something I've been saying this for years, for a long time, and I stand by this, and I stand on this, that, you know, I don't think reviews are for me personally, I don't look at reviews as a means for me of how I purchase games. That's never really been the way I do things. Like if I find a game interesting, if me looking at the gameplay, looking at, the whatever trailer or whatever, if I find interest, if my interest is piqued from that, I'm willing to give a game a chance. Now, obviously, I do think reviews have a place within the game industry and the gaming realm, in the terms of like, if a game is broken or buggy or, unplayable. I do think that stuff is important to convey to potential consumers to save a bit of money. I think that stuff does it, and that's where I think reviews or analysis or whatever you want to call it, that's where I think it has a place, right? But when it comes to like, if I'll enjoy a game or like a game or something like that, or I've never looked at reviews in that manner. Never have. Like, like people, a game that people tend to make fun of quite a bit, and it did fail. Like, realistically, it did fail because they shut the game down. They shut the servers down. And me and Bari played this game, quite a bit, and we beat the game. We got through the story and all that. Babylon's Fall. I think that game was like a 40 on Metacritic, right? And I enjoyed my time with it. Is it perfect? Absolutely not. I do think they messed up on quite a bit of things in Babylon's Fall. But on the other side of that, I do know that there are certain reviews that I looked at and I know they didn't complete the game, because certain things that they were talking about when it came to like the story and the gameplay and things like that, it just didn't make sense. Like it was outright incorrect. But this is me having completed the story and got to the end game and got the game's combat opens up quite a bit once you get to the end game. That's where I think Babylon's Fall failed quite a bit, is like they locked a lot of the cool abilities and things that you can do in the game so late in the game that it definitely felt like a bit of a chore in certain aspects, or repetitive when it came to some of the combat options that you had, because it was so limiting to a degree. Yo, True Virgils, what's good? Fahim, what's good? JP, appreciate you for the super chat. He says, I'm gonna clap some Black Cat cheeks in Spider-Man 2. What? JP, you are wildin' out here, my boy. And shout out to JP again for the super chat. He says, remember when they said Forspoken was empty and barren? Starfield is 97% copy and paste barren wastelands. Yo, y'all are starting early. Let me set it up. Let me set it up, chat. Don't beat the legs in yet. But I mean, funny enough, he brings up Forspoken. Forspoken is actually a great example of people using reviews to, shit on a game, bash the game, whatever the case may be. And when you actually play the game, it really is a great game. Like Forspoken definitely is a great game. Yo, King 1710, what's good? Jeff B Gamer, what up? It is legit a great game, right? But this is the issue with reviews, because reviews are really just an opinion. It always has been, always will be. It's someone's opinion that you may take serious or not, or it may hold some value, right? Which fine. And you may view that opinion, and that opinion may influence you buying or not buying a game. Metacritic as well. Metacritic, we see the influence that Metacritic has on the community today. People won't even look at a game if it's not scoring in like the 80s. You feel me? Bonuses are tied to Metacritic for some of these development studios. So undeniably, Metacritic and reviews hold a lot of power in the game industry, within the gaming community. Like, I'm not going to sit here. I would be foolish to sit here and tell you that these things hold no power or have no value. They do, right? Because a lot of people place a lot of value in these things. They do. Me personally, I don't place that much value to where it influences if I buy or not buy a game, but I understand its place in the industry and in the community when it comes to the rest of the community, or when it comes to everybody else. And I think we all understand that. As much as people may say reviews don't matter or Metacritic don't matter, including myself, we all know to some degree or not, it does matter for the people that that view that stuff as important, right? Again, if the game looks fun to me, looks great to me, I don't care, you know? If Spider-Man were to come out and it was a 60, that would not deter me from playing and enjoying the game, because what I'm seeing of Spider-Man 2, it looks absolutely incredible. And that's one of my most anticipated games of this year. You know what I'm saying? But where things get a little bit mucky, let me move the chat over here so I can see what you guys are saying. I don't want to miss the conversation, because looking that way, and I got 2 monitors, so like looking this way, looking that way, I want to make sure, since my camera's here, I want to have the chat like right here in my face. Pause so that I can see what y'all are saying. What was I saying? Shit, I just love how I'm getting old, guys. I'm getting old. Shit, when it comes to Metacritic and stuff like that, you know, where Mac the Stampede, what's good, bro? Toolman, what's up? Lurker, what's good? T Harris, what's up? Where things get a little bit funny to me, yo, Muck, what's good? Where things get a little bit funny to me when it comes to like Metacritic and reviews in this community is the reviews don't matter. Yo, Klaus Strife, what's good, bro? Leech, what's good? Amanda, what's up? The reviews don't matter. No, excuse me. Let me rephrase. You can always tell when the reviews and Metacritic start to matter and when it's a game you love, right? Take Starfield. And again, we knew going into this that Starfield was definitely going to be a game that had a lot of eyes on it from all sides. If you prefer PlayStation, Xbox, it doesn't matter. Everybody was paying attention to Starfield because of how much it was being hyped up, right? And I'm not saying just being hyped up from like Todd Howard, Bethesda, and Microsoft. Excuse me. You know, influencers, the community, there's all of that. There was a lot of hype. There was a lot of hype for this game going in for everybody, rightfully so. So no doubt there's going to be a lot of eyes and attention on this game. Where things get really, yo, Truth Serum, what's good? Where things get funny for me, yo, Big Hardcore Gamer, what's up? Is how serious people can get, or irrational. Let me rephrase. How irrational some people can get, and this is regardless of sides. You know, we're talking about Starfield because this is the conversation, but this can really be applied to anybody that exhibits this type of behavior. How irrational some can get when it comes to the review time. Review time, right? Reviews are coming out, and you know, people tend to start, you know, attacking people personally, wishing, some people may wish death upon certain people, which is absolutely crazy. Hoping people lose their jobs and things like that. And this is the stuff that, you know, and I always say this, man, and I always use a disclaimer when I'm talking about or critiquing, because here's the thing. I don't think there's anything wrong with critiquing someone's review. I don't think that's wrong. Like, if you read somebody's review and you played the game in its entirety and you don't agree with someone's opinion or whatever, I don't see that as an issue, right? Critique that. You should. Fine. Like, that makes, especially if you're coming to the table with a well thought out opinion or discussion. I think that's perfectly fine. I don't have an issue with that, especially as long as it's respectful, right? I see no issue, right? I welcome that stuff, right? As long as it's respectful, well thought out, and you actually can bring some type of value to the conversation, I don't see an issue with that. When we're talking about people on Twitter, yeah, that's not always the case. And this is on all sides, right? Where, you know, a lot of people are attacking people personally, hoping people get fired and things like this. But there's also another side to this too. And it's the people who try to, and this is more so like, you guys, I think we've all seen The Dark Knight, Remember The Dark Knight where Joker and it wasn't Falcone. I forgot the Russian dude's name. Neil S. What's up? I forgot the Russian dude's name that was like working with Joker as well. But remember when they was in the warehouse or wherever and all the money was there and Joker burned his half? Right? Y'all remember that scene? And remember Alfred said, I might be getting the scenes mixed up, but anyway, let's keep going. Kendra, what's good? Remember when Alfred had said to Bruce, you know, some men just want to see the world burn. And so like on Twitter, you'll see a lot of people who like to utilize the chaos, so to speak, right? Just for lack of a better term, the chaos that ensues within social media whenever a big game comes out around review time. Well, you'll see people that try to stoke the flames by saying wild, crazy things, and pretending to be affiliated or whatever with one side of a community or another in order to stoke the flames or make this community look bad or, you know, whatever, right? And why they do that, I have no idea, right? I think that stuff is really weird, right? But that's what they'll do. They'll say the craziest, most outlandish things in the name of console wars. Now, console wars is a really mucky subject as well, right? Because you have a lot of people who, you know, we've talked about this a million times on my channel, right? I think console wars in the sense of the gaming debates, discussions and things like that, I think that stuff is cool. And even cracking the lighthearted jokes, right? If you're cracking jokes here and there and all that stuff, I don't see an issue with that. Like if it's not going personal, I see no issue. I know there's certain people out here that try to like be above this you know, a lot of it's really weird, man. Like especially as of late, I've been noticing a lot more as of late where some people may try to take like this moral high ground of, yeah, you know, oh, let me get the neutral. Well, you know, I'm not all for the console wars. You know, I don't like fanboys, you know, regardless. I think fanboys are toxic. I don't like the fanboys. Right? And it's like, okay, fine. You don't like console warring, you don't like fanboys and things like that. Cool. Like, good. All right, fine. Where things get a little mucky for me is those people who tend to congregate with fanboys or partake in the console wars themselves, right? It's like you don't like the console wars, but you always speaking on it. And that's something that I've always found weird, is, you know, the attention that's put on console wars and all this other shit, right? It's weird how much attention this stuff is really paid, how much people pay attention to that stuff. I always found that weird because, you know, especially the more toxic stuff, right? The lighthearted jokes, obviously that stuff is going to get the ha-ha, he-he's and stuff like that. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the really vulgar, nasty, messed up stuff that people do. It's kind of strange that, like, especially like influencers and journalists or whatever, that stuff, see, from what I'm seeing, from where I'm sitting, I see that stuff get paid more attention to than some of the more positive stuff or some of the more positive things that certain people might be doing in the community. And when I say, I'm speaking more so of this side, right? I always find it weird. I'm like, why? Like, if those people get ignored, they go away. But for some reason, this keeps getting paid attention to and keeps getting shown a light on, right? Yo, Gaming Forte, man, shout out to you, man. Shout out to Forte and Slow Mo, man. They do DPS podcast every Thursday, 9 o'clock Eastern. Make sure you guys check out DPS podcast with Gaming Forte and Slow Mo Backslap, man. Great dudes, man. Gaming Forte says, what is this? An Xbox guy supporting a PlayStation guy? Don't care about the idiots on Twitter. Love that you keep it real and always gaming. Oh yeah, for sure, man. I always appreciate the support, Forte, for real. But yeah, you know, like a lot of that attention that gets paid to when it comes to, you know, the super negative, vulgar stuff. I always wonder, like, you know, especially for the real big influencers and journalists, why pay attention to that stuff? Why constantly bring attention to that stuff? And it always happens. And those are the people you'll see get responded to. But if you see like you know, somebody that's trying to like, hey, you know, I want you to, you know, can you, you know, if somebody's asking a question about a game or something, or asking a question about XYZ or whatever, those people would get ignored. But if someone says, yeah, your game sucks, or, you know, you're toxic, or you're an idiot, or, you know, just whatever people say to get that you know, get you riled up, that's what you'll see people responding to. And I had posted this on Twitter like a week or two ago, where I said, I've mastered the art of laughing and keep scrolling. I wish I could show you guys how much stuff I see that I laugh at, just keep scrolling. Sometimes, and listen, sometimes things require a response, right? Perfect example. You know, for those that follow me on Twitter, me and Barry on Twitter, you know, we had that whole space about the weirdo guy, the guy that said he was gonna smoke me and Barry. Yeah, him. You know, sometimes things require a response, and the reason why that stuff requires a response is because to shine light on it, so that the community knows to stay away. Right? So fair enough. Yo, JP, appreciate you. He says, some men aren't looking for anything logical. They can't be bought, bullied, or reasoned with. Some men just want to watch the world burn. Hey, that's the quote from Alfred. Hey, shout out to JP Loco. But, you know, in the sense of like, you know, people wanting people to lose their jobs, wanting people to get fired, or wanting people to you know, just all this weird shit that I tend to see. I never understood why people, well, two things. One, why people go that far. And you know, obviously we know that there's a lot of weirdos in the chat. I mean, not in the chat, in the community. There's a lot of weirdos in the community. There's a lot of weirdos in the community, and then there's also a lot of people who, how do I say this? There's a lot of weirdos in the community, but then there's also, yo, chat, yo, listen. I'm looking at the chat and I'm thinking about the chat. That's why, like, that, yo, listen, y'all know what I meant, man. There's a lot of weirdos in the community. In the community. I mean the community. In the community. There's a lot of weirdos in the community. And, yo, y'all just fucked my train of thought up, man. Hey, yo, the chat about to get at your boy. Don't beat me up, chat. I slipped up. I made a mistake. I slipped up. The chat about to get at me, yo. The chat about to get at me. Don't get at me, chat. Don't get at me, chat. Don't get at me, man. Nah, yo, y'all already know, man. He said, nah, it's not a mistake. Yo, don't kick my shins. Leave my shins alone. He said, way to call me out. Yo, Blue Mustang, what's good, bro? Sometimes you do have those types in the chats lurking. So we're weirdos now, huh, Persona? Unsubscribe, everyone. Yo. Oh, man. But nah, yo, there's a lot of like widows in the community, one, so we know that, right? But like I said, a lot of people just trying to stoke the flames to get that negativity because they know they're gonna get that attention. Yo, Wolfgang, what's good? I make babies, what's up? Mario Heat, what up? He said you ain't lied though. Yo, Javille, chill. But one of the things that I do want to talk about, and kind of, I kind of want to critique this a little bit, right? Because listen, Starfield, and regardless where you prefer to play, like I prefer PlayStation, right? And this is no secret, right? I'm not like, you know, and contrary to what some people may try to paint me out to be, I'm not this like toxic console war person. You know, that some people try to paint me out to be. Is weird because like for those who watch my content, watch What's Up PlayStation podcast or whatever, y'all know the truth, but obviously the lie is always more entertaining than the truth. Yo, Kawhi, what's good? Yo, make sure y'all wish Kawhi a very, very happy belated birthday. I need y'all to go do that for me. Her birthday was yesterday. So make sure y'all wish her a happy, or was it today? Did I see the tweet today or yesterday? Listen, it's Kawhi's birthday week. We gonna do that. Make sure y'all wish Kawhi a happy birthday. But yeah, when it comes to like, you know, this whole, you know, my preference is PlayStation. Everyone knows that. I'm not afraid to admit that. That doesn't mean I hate Xbox. It doesn't mean I hate Nintendo. It doesn't even mean I hate PC, you know? Contrary to popular, you know, I crack jokes on PC, but that's more so because of some of the PC elitists out here are very weird. Respectfully, I didn't say all of PC gamers, just some of these elitist master race dudes. They're pretty weird. Anyway, because I own all these things, right? But I don't use that as like a badge of honor or wear that as like my shield of saying, oh, well, you know, I own everything, so that means that, you know, I'm a neutral gamer, so just listen to me because I'm just this neutral guy. No, I own everything. I play everything. I go where the games are 100%, but I prefer PlayStation. Go figure, right? And so contrary to popular belief, you know, some people may say, oh, well, you know, Persona, you know, don't listen or support that Persona guy. Don't watch What's a PlayStation Pocket. Don't support his channel. He's a console fanboy, which is not true, right? But that's what some people try to paint you out to be. And the thing that gets me is people are allowed to play games wherever they want, and without fear of being attacked or ridiculed, even if you work at PlayStation, right? I want us to watch this Alana video. I want to talk about a couple things through this video, but you know, if you work at PlayStation, Xbox, Nintendo, you know, I don't think anyone should be afraid to play games on an opposite platform because of where you work. You know, just because you work at, you know, Applebee's don't mean you can't eat at Red Lobster. Just because you drive a Toyota doesn't mean you can't want a Mercedes or like a Mercedes, right? And those are the things where I think things kind of get lost in the sauce, right? And we know why some people are doing it, because go back to the Joker quote. Some people just want to see the world burn. Because you can't tell me that you are actually sitting here looking at someone enjoy a game and thinking, yeah, this person should lose their job because they're playing a game that the opposing console has made. No. But here's the other side of that. Here's the other side of that. And some people might not like what I'm going to say. I don't think Alana should have responded at all. Right? Or anyone for that matter. Because it's not going to stop. If anything, it's going to make it happen even more. And Alana, she knows that, you know, she's going to say it in the video like, oh yeah, you know, I ignore most of that stuff, which I'm sure she does. And people are bringing that stuff to her attention, which, you know, I think that's the shit that I also think she should put. Like, I told people, like, because people would always send me like clips of like spaces or like tweets and shit like this of people saying wild, crazy stuff about me. I told people, stop doing that. Stop sending me that stuff. I don't care. Because there's always going to be somebody somewhere on the internet that does not like me. There's always going to be somebody somewhere on the internet that is going to be talking shit about me or whatever. Or talking shit about Barry or Wups or whatever. They're just always going to be doing that, you know? And if we're spending every waking moment trying to respond to that, we'd be here all day. You get what I'm saying? And so that's why, like, I put out the tweet like 2 weeks ago. I was like, you know, I've learned the art of laughing and just keep scrolling. because that's what I mostly do. Even when it comes to like certain gaming discussions, I don't, and I think a lot of you noticed this, like I don't engage in a lot of gaming discussions anymore. One, because I think a lot of people, not all, I'm not saying all people, but I do think there's a lot of people who aren't really being genuine when it comes to their gaming thoughts and opinions. That's one. Two, a lot of people been lying about the shit they play. And I just don't got time for it, man. And I've proven it time and time again in spaces. For those who follow me, y'all know. Keep that bad energy away, Persona. Protect your mental happiness. Oh yeah, you already know, Kendra. Yo, Blandrew, what's good, bro? Shout out to Blandrew in the chat. Zero Steel. He said, Blandrew says, haven't been able to catch one live in a while. What's up, Persona in chat? Yo, shout out to Blandrew, man. Blandrew, you know I always appreciate you coming through, rocking out with your boy. But listen, I want to watch this video from Alana, man. I want us to watch this and really, you know, let's talk about it, man. Let's talk about it. You feel me? Shout out to Alana, man. I think yo, Alana, I know you watching, Alana. Yo, come through the What's Up PlayStation podcast, man. You know, we'd love to have you on. All right, let's watch it. And certain things I want to kind of talk about. So let's watch it.
Something like this pops up every few months, and before we get into today's video, I would like to state that usually I don't even see it. I will have no idea if there's
That's the right thing to do, by the way. Yo, listen, I got my filters set up where I don't, there's a lot of replies I don't see. And so like, it's not me ignoring people, but I got my shit set up a certain way.
Twitter thread about me or Reddit or 4chan or whatever else, unless I am told.
You know what's crazy too? I remember when people were like, when Alana had got hired by Sony Santa Monica, I remember people saying wild crazy stuff about her and how she got that job. Like, yo, I don't know what it, yo, Alana's a real tough woman, right? Like she knows and understands there's weirdos out there that's always doing like wild crazy stuff and all that stuff. She understands that stuff. I don't think it's right, obviously, but yo, like a lot of people like attacking this woman, bro. I don't get why. It's really weird, but yo, it's wild crazy, man.
My mentions are so filtered that I won't see you tag me. Like, I literally just have no idea this is even happening. And if people do tell me enough that it's happening, I generally don't care. And the reason for that is because I frankly feel like I am too old, and I've felt that way for a long time.
Yo, real talk. It's funny Alana says that, man. I'm gonna keep it a stack with y'all, bro. I'm gonna keep it. Yo, Sticks, what's good? Yo, welcome back, my boy. Ain't seen one of these in a minute. Yeah, no doubt, man. Shout out to you, Sticks. Appreciate you coming through. He said Alana is fine. Oh yeah, she's you know, she's a very you know, attractive woman. Anyway, but nah, when it comes to like what Alana's saying, that yo, I'm gonna keep it a stack with y'all, right? That's kind of like why I kind of pulled away too, man. Like, yo, you get to a certain age, man, where it's just like, yo, I'm good, man. Like, yo, it's just like, I'm good. Like I said, I'll still crack my jokes here and there, but like the debating and all that stuff, I don't know, man. Like I think I'm slowly just like, yo, man, I'm good. Like it's easier for me to just be like, yo, I'm good. Straight up. Like that's how easy it is for me now. Before, like if this was like 5 years ago, I'd have been like, yeah, you know, debate. Oh yeah, you know, like every opinion, I'd have been like that. Now I'm like, yo, man, I'm good, man. Like it is what it is, man. Like, yo, that's kind of where my energy has been shifting more and more and more. I'm just like, yo, it is what it is. You feel me? So I get what Alana's saying here, like 100%. I do.
Like, I'm not worried about what someone's saying about me on YouTube or on Twitter. I am a grown woman with bills to pay. I'm worried about taxes. My sister had a baby yesterday.
Yo, congrats to the baby.
I couldn't be less concerned about like what some dudes are tweeting, you know? So I don't ever.
Hey, yo, facts, man. Cause yo, real talk. A lot of these Twitter dudes, yo, let me not go down that path, man. Listen, let me not go down that path, man. I almost slipped, but I caught myself. Let's continue.
read any content about myself at all. But this one time I wanted to make a video about it, just to like say my piece, because this is starting to happen so frequently. And I'm like, let me just say the thing and then get back out and like go back to minding my own business. There was another guy who was like, I'm so sorry about what other PlayStation.
Yo, you know what's crazy too, yo? Like, yo, I really be minding my business, man. Yo, I feel Alana on that sentiment, man. Like, yo, mind my business. I don't talk to nobody. I post my gameplay, crack my little jokes here and there. I mind my business. I do my podcast with my bro Barry, shout out to Barry, and I mind my business. I mind my business. I don't bother nobody. But trouble always trying to find you, man. Always.
Brazilian fans have been saying to you. I don't speak Portuguese. A, wouldn't have known it was a thing if you haven't told me. B, wouldn't have understood it. Thank you. That is a nice thing to say, but literally will not know it exists unless you tell me. I prefer you just don't tell me. I'm good. That is the most important thesis of this video, but there's another thing that I want to say as well. So, a particularly upstanding citizen of the internet here tweeted this in response to me playing Starfield. They said, Alana Pierce should be fired for promoting Xbox games on a public platform like this. Extremely unprofessional and demonstrates a lack of loyalty and seriousness to PlayStation, her employer, at Herman Holst, at Corey Paul.
All right, so let me say this real quick. This AP dude is a fucking weirdo. The man is blocked. This dude is a weirdo, like straight up, right? I don't know if this Bethesda is this Bethesda. Hold up, let me. I wonder if that account is like a big following account. I don't know. Let me check real quick. I want to check Bethesda.net. I don't know if that's like an official account or what. I want to see real quick. Where's the .net? Oh no, this is some small account. All right, cool. It's a small account. False flag? What's that? False flag. I don't know what you mean by that, Wizard. Yo, Upchuck, what's up? But you know, I just think it's crazy that like the attention and you know why. Like we know why he's getting attention. But you know, dude like this that's like calling for somebody's job. I mean, he's got no power to get anybody fired. Like if some shit like this would be like funny, like you laugh and keep scrolling. You know, that's why I'm like really surprised Alana even responded to this. Cause I'm like, yo, this is some shit that you would just laugh. Like yo, this shit is funny, right? The fact that he tagged Herman and Corey, I'm sure they probably saw that. If they, well, I don't think they see anybody tagging them if they don't follow them really and truly. But if this was to somehow come across their timeline or whatever, I'm pretty sure they laughed. They probably laughed at this shit and kept it pushing. Like really and truly. Like I don't see this as anything serious. You know, like that's why like for something like this, I'd have just laughed and kept scrolling. You feel me? That's why I'm like really surprised she replied to this. But you know, let's continue.
Which
is the guy pretending to be a PS gamer just to make us look bad? Really and truly, I don't know. Like even if that's the case, like I would hope that people, how do I say this? I would hope that people have a more common sense than that to know that one person doesn't really dictate how an entire community of people that prefer a specific platform are. Obviously, we know that it's Twitter, so a lot of people like to generalize a lot, where they'll say, you know, PlayStation fans attacking Alana, some stupid shit like that, right? When that's not the case. There's some random guy on the internet that's calling for her to be fired or attacking her or whatever, but people don't tend to do that. And the reason why they say it in the way that they do is because it gets more attention, it gets more engagement, or whatever the case may be. So people are going to generalize it and say, oh yeah, PlayStation fanboys or whatever they like to do, ponies, whatever they say, because it's gonna come across and get more engagement and get more people talking, when we know that's not the case.
As an aside, Corey and I spent about 10 minutes before a meeting today talking about the stuff we were doing in Starfield and how much we were enjoying it, so good luck with that one. I'm also quite confident that if I DM'd Herman and were like, hey, how are you liking Starfield? He'd be like, it's great! But yes, BethesdaNet shared this with me and my reply was, you don't need to share it with me. Like, never feel like you need to share this with me. I don't care. And
Yo, facts. Yo, listen. Shout out to Alana, man. Shout out to Alana. We on that same wavelength. You feel me? Don't share that shit, man. Don't share that. Don't do that.
Happens all the time. Actually, there was one time that it happened where I didn't even know.
Hey, yo, real talk. If somebody ain't, I ain't even gonna say that. I'm looking at the chat. That's why I was gonna say what I was about to say, but nah, I ain't gonna do that.
Know it was happening, that a bunch of people were very mad at me because I love Tunic, until Phil Spencer DM'd me and was like, I'm sorry, this is happening. It's like, I didn't even know. I would never know unless you told me. But yes, we're going to talk about it very quickly today, just to like get it out there about like how absurd this misconception is. And then I'll just get back to playing video games, because that's what I do. So for reference, I do have this person blocked, which is very uncommon. I only have 700.
Yo, that's that's crazy. For somebody, let's keep going, man. Let's keep going. That's just crazy to me, man.
People blocked on Twitter, and I have 500,000 followers. Like, I do not block many people at all. I would say 50% of those blocks are because somebody did something and I found it funny to block them. Sometimes there are people who I suspect, like this one, I'm not actually sure, I don't know who this is. People will warn me about, like, they'll have enough people be like, hey, this person is doing this, or like harassing you or whatever. And they've done it frequently enough that I will just go and block them based on someone telling me to. Like, I haven't even seen the stuff myself. I'm like, okay, I've registered that enough people are mentioning this that I should probably block this person. In any case, the replies to the tweet are quite funny. You're just like, they had to turn their replies off because people were dunking on them so hard for this absurd take. And it is absurd. This is like just ridiculous. And I'm sure most of you know that. But there have been some sane people who've asked me questions about how this works as well. And I'm like, let me just address it. I work at Santa Monica Studio and I love working there. It's the best job I've ever had. I'm so happy there. I love my job. I love the people I work with. Like, I think I work at one of the best game studios in the entire world. That is
absolutely. Shout out to Sony Santa Monica, by the way, man. That God of War Ragnarok was fire. You feel me?
My
She's speaking facts, though. One of the best.
Opinion of working in SMS. I think the studio is incredible. And I work with so many people who have so much talent and experience. And like I said, I think some of the best in the entire industry. That is my stance on the place that I work. Similarly, I also have friends who work at Bethesda, and I have friends who work at Xbox, and I have friends who work at Nintendo. When you work in the industry for a long time, I'm over 10 years now, you end up making friends who work a lot of places. And I think one thing that people don't realize is that the console wars don't really exist inside the industry. In fact, there are people on my direct team at Santa Monica Studio who came from Xbox, who just worked at an Xbox studio. Santa Monica Studio will have people leave who will then go to work at Microsoft-owned studios. Like, I get that these like console fanboys think that there's like this constant war, but the truth is, the games industry has people.
So that's interesting, right? And I was talking to Bari about this because we was talking about the video, I think the other day or whatever about it, and for me personally, I don't get why. I understand why she's saying it here, because obviously she's trying to explain, based off this situation and what's going on. So I get why she's explaining it here in this video. For me though, what I find strange, and not necessarily with Alana, but I just think in general, is the fact that you would need to explain to an adult this, or that an adult would think, because if you're dealing with a child, obviously a child can't really fathom, especially if they have like some children probably can, but most probably can't fathom XYZ. If they have like a favorite something, then obviously the other thing is bad or whatever, right? But I think if you're dealing with adults, which we are dealing with a lot of people here in this community, I hope, I think it's strange that this needs to be explained, or that people even have that type of thought in their brain, right? Because at the end of the day, especially in today's time, doing what the people do in this industry, it is a job. It's a job. You know, for us it's a passion, right? For us as gamers, and I think this is probably where things get a little bit fuzzy when you're dealing with developers and studios and gamers, right? Not all gamers, obviously there's, you know, you got the weirdos who kind of take things too far and things like that or whatever. But I think for a lot of us that kind of, you know, are able to think rationally, you know, gaming is a passion. You're very passionate. I'm passionate. I know a lot of you in the chat are very passionate when it comes to gaming, right? I do think that the people who make the games, a large majority of them are also very passionate. I won't say every single one of them are gamers per se, at least not on the level of what you may think a gamer is. But I do think that a lot of developers, you know, people, you know, the gaming industry, I do think a lot of them are passionate about their job. I do think they're passionate about the work that they do. I do think they're passionate about the work that they put out there, regardless of what it is. But I do think that the lines tend to get a little bit fuzzy, a little bit crossed sometimes with certain people, where they want that passion to translate or be identical to the passion that you have as a gamer. And everyone doesn't share that passion. Listen, I prefer PlayStation because PlayStation is where I prefer to play my games. I'm not expecting someone like an Alana, someone like a Corey Barlog or whoever to share that same passion as me on that gamer level, because that's not necessarily the dynamic between the two. One side is a developer that's meant to make games. That's a job. At its core, it is a job. Like, you know, no matter how you splice it, it is a job, right? You would hope that the people that you do get are passionate about the work that they're doing, the things that they're creating, 100%. But for me, I don't really expect that passion to translate into a passion for PlayStation per se. I think there's a passion to make great games on PlayStation, sure, because that's where you work. That's, you know, you enjoy where you work and things like that, fine. But for me as a gamer, someone that's very passionate and kind of and has been exposed to both sides of, like, you know, the gaming side and also a little bit of that developer peek behind and media and all that other shit, I don't really expect that. And I think it's unfair for people to expect that of people whose job it is to make games. I don't think that's fair, right? It would be cool, like, you know, like, oh, you know, if you meet a developer and you know, you guys become cool or whatever, and, you know, y'all can share in that passion of playing games, that's great. But for me and how I think and how I view things, I understand that a developer's passion is in the creating of games. It might not necessarily in playing the games. Now, sometimes that can be a good thing, sometimes it can be a bad thing. It depends who's the developer is. It's a lot that goes into that, right? But I'm not expecting any developer to console war, or you have to play PlayStation because you work at PlayStation. You have to play Xbox only games because you work at it. Like, shit like that's dumb to me. Like, play whatever you want, enjoy whatever you want. You feel me? Like, that should always be the case. And this is stuff I've been saying for years, just across the board. Play and enjoy your games however you see fit if you play games. If you only want to make games and that's where your passion lies, that's also great, because you're putting things out there that bring joy to the people who do enjoy playing games. You get what I'm saying? But I think in the turn, yeah, like a lot of people saying the AP dude is not, this AP dude is not no PlayStation dude. Like, you know, and I think a lot of people are kind of trying to paint it in that way, but this AP dude is just a troll and a weirdo in my opinion. But let's keep going.
People sharing around all the time between many of these companies because there are only so many jobs available in game development. And if there's anything consistent for all of the people that I know who work at PlayStation or who work at Nintendo or who work at Xbox, it's that they don't care. The reality of working in game development, or at least my reality, this is my experience. Of course, other people may have had different experiences. I'd be very surprised if any of it differs very much. I'm not talking about people who work in PR and marketing whose job it is to sell the brand. That's not my job. All I actually care about is doing my job and doing it well. Of course, I want people to like the stuff I'm working on, and of course I want it to be successful. But I pretty similarly want every other game in the industry to be the same way. Working in the games industry is amazing and exciting, and I've been in it for as long as I have because I love video games. But it's exciting because realistically, the technology is actually in its infancy. We're still figuring out what we're doing. People are making huge leaps every year. The way video games look now is going to look so different in 50 years' time because the industry still has so much room to progress. Frankly, I see video games as almost limitless because as the hardware progresses, video games can progress. We can't even fathom the kind of games that we'll be playing in 20 years. Everything is about technical limitation, and there's not necessarily a cap on hardware progression. Thus, there is not necessarily really a cap on game dev progression. So when a big game comes out and people are excited about it, the whole industry is excited about it. I am excited for my friends who work at Xbox. Like I said, virtually every dev, when something like this happens, is just excited about it. A big blockbuster game that's taken 10 years to make and has a huge budget, everyone else is oh my god, I can't wait to play it, let's play it. Corey, they tagged him, but somebody else shared a tweet where Corey is talking about how excited he was to play Starfield. What did you think was gonna happen? It's so absurd. People in the games industry like and care about video games as a whole. I am not concerned about sales or pieces of hardware or content. I am concerned about doing my job well and making a good video game and enjoying what everyone else makes too. I have always loved Xbox and PlayStation and Nintendo. I used to work at Xbox. I have 2 Nintendo tattoos. I currently work at PlayStation. It would not surprise me if I continue to work for all 3 of these companies as I continue in the games industry because I love all of them. I love the stuff they make. I love that they're making different things. I'm just so happy to be here. And it is not my job or the job of anyone like me to worry about Starfield being successful or not. I just want other video games to be successful, especially when they're single player and don't have microtransactions. That is the kind of games that I want to make forever. So I always want every other game in the games industry that follows that same pattern to be as successful as possible. I want it to be a commercial success. So all these console fanboys who care about this, again, I know most of you don't, and most of you are rational people. People who actually work in the game development, everybody's just excited about video games, man. They don't care who made them. They're just happy that all their friends who work in
So I want to talk about that too, right? She kind of started rambling a little bit in some of that. But I do want to talk about, the whole sales and all that stuff, right? Because I can understand from that side of what she's talking about, where it's developers don't care. Well, I don't know. And then maybe this is just how my brain works. Listen, I'm not trying to. I don't know. This is just my opinion, right? I understand Alana. She has her own opinions and stuff like that, or whatever. I'm not attacking her opinion. I'm kind of just giving my own opinion and probably a little bit of critique, right? I don't know. I feel like if I was a developer making games that are meant to be bought and sold, I would care about the sales of the game that I'm making, at least per se. Probably not the sales of Starfield. She didn't make Starfield, so I'm pretty sure she probably doesn't give a fuck about if it sells. Well, she did say she cares about those games selling, so actually she does care, but I don't know. I just feel like saying you don't care about sales, if I was to say I don't care about sales, or if a developer saying that, so do you not care if your game, my question would be, do you not care if your game sells, right? Because I see a lot of people in the community try to make those arguments of we don't care about, why do you care about sales? Why do you care about this and that? And I'm I care about the sales of games because more games come from the sales of these games that are being made, right? I think that stuff is very important. I think when you get into the weeds of the toxicity, and I know that word gets thrown around a lot, but if you're getting into the weeds of the toxicity or the console war side of how sales and stuff like that are being utilized, I can kind of understand her argument from that perspective, right? But I do think a conversation about how games are selling, how consoles are selling and stuff like that, someone that's really connected into gaming and stuff like that, I personally would, if I was a developer, I would care about that stuff, because that's also a good gauge of how well the industry is doing, right? With like when you're looking at like the sales and the statistics, the facts, data, and statistics and stuff like that, right? And for a hobby like gaming, and gaming has been my main hobby, or one of my biggest hobbies, for almost almost 3 decades now, right? So for me personally, I do think this, looking at the sales of different games and stuff like that, I think that stuff is it is important to me personally, because I want to see how great the industry is doing. I want to see how great games are doing. When Spider-Man 2 comes out, absolutely, I'm going to be happy if the game sells really well, because that means, one, a big success for a development studio that I love and want to see continue to make great games. But two, that means more games come from the success and the sales of that game, which means that my hobby can continue to be fruitful and flourish. So I think when we have this conversation of, console fanboys and sales, or sales doesn't matter, and this, that, and the third, I don't know if that's necessarily a genuine, from my side, I don't agree with that 100%. I do think sales are important. I do think the facts, data, and statistics that come from all of that is very important. And I like to see that stuff. I do. I love to see that stuff. When Matt Piscatella posts up, like the best-selling games of the month and the year and year to date and this and that and all, I like seeing that stuff, man, because that stuff, one, I'm a numbers guy. Like I like seeing like facts and numbers and sheets and shit like that. I like that type of stuff. But two, for my hobby, I love to see that stuff because it helps me gauge how well or how bad the industry is doing. You get what I'm saying? I understand what Alana is saying here, but I disagree. I disagree with that.
Dev made something cool. And of course you have multiple people who jump between companies, so you will end up working with someone who worked at Bethesda or end up working with somebody who worked at Santa Monica Studio. It's just the way the industry works. The stuff that you think matters does not matter. It maybe matters to a marketing department or a PR department, I don't know. But I can also tell you a little bit of my experience with the marketing PR departments. So when I worked at Xbox, PlayStation still gave me a PlayStation 4 and they gave me early access to games. There was no hesitation there whatsoever. They still gave me access to PlayStation stuff. Now I work at PlayStation, and Xbox kind of hesitated a little to begin with, and now give me access to codes for Xbox games. But they did used to give me all the cool stuff, like the controllers and stuff. I don't get that stuff from them anymore. I clearly was moved around a mailing list a little bit. PlayStation didn't care. Nintendo also didn't care. They gave me everything when I worked at Xbox, didn't care at all. And nobody at PlayStation or Sony at any point ever has ever told me not to talk about games on other platforms. In reality, the thing that I do have restrictions on is promoting PlayStation. I no longer get early access to PlayStation games. I can't do an early impressions of a PlayStation game. I can't do my first hour gameplay of a PlayStation game. I have to buy all my PlayStation games, and I buy them on release. There was an ad agency in Australia that wanted to pay me to make part of an ad for Ratchet & Clank because they knew I was super excited about Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart, but I guess somebody at Sony said no. I think it's a totally respectable ethical stance of you can talk about Xbox and Nintendo all you want. They have never said anything that would in any way disparage me from doing so or discourage me doing so. I just can't get early access to anything PlayStation related, and I don't get the fun mailer kits that a lot of my friends who work in media get. They get the newest PlayStation controllers that they share on social media. I don't get any of that kind of stuff. It's the opposite of what you think it is. As for if I'm biased towards PlayStation or Xbox, the truth is people have been saying this about me in either direction, in both directions, so passionately for as long as I have been speaking about video games. People have called me a PlayStation shill for the last 10 years, and people have called...
It's funny, Alana? I think you and I can share a lot in that sentiment, People have been calling me a PlayStation shill for a while too. I don't understand it. It's crazy. Why would they do that?
Me an Xbox shill for the last 10 years. It depends which side you're on. I have PlayStation fans get very mad at me because I didn't talk about PlayStation enough. I have Xbox fans get mad at me because apparently I don't like certain games because they're on...
What's funny, Alana? I've had PlayStation fans get mad at me because I critique PlayStation too much. And I've had Xbox fans get mad at me because I expect too much from Xbox. That's weird, isn't it, Alana?
on Xbox. The Starfield one's been extra fun because it depends which side of the camp you're on. I really like this game, but I have some criticisms of it, right? That's how I feel about it as a person who just is here and enjoys video games. But because my stance is not like all one or the other because I'm a human being, the Xbox fans are like, fuck you, Sony shill. All one or the other because I'm a human being. The Xbox fans are like, fuck you, Sony shill. One or the other because I'm a human being. The Xbox fans are like, fuck you, Sony shill. The Xbox fans are like, fuck you, Sony shill. The Xbox fans are like, fuck you, Sony shill.
Over Starfield? Over Starfield? Really? Over Starfield? Really?
And then the PlayStation fans are like, fuck you, you're obsessed with this game, you love it. Like, they don't realize that they're both...
What PlayStation fans say that? Huh? Come to the front of the congregation right now. What PlayStation fans say that? You about to get out the community. You got to go. You bad for business. How dare you?
saying the literal opposite thing. And I don't care if people think I'm biased. Again, it's been happening forever. Think whatever you want. But the actual reality of where I land in the video game landscape, as much as I'm sure it's annoying for a lot of people who are console fanboys, is honestly just that I love video games. I love Xbox, I love PlayStation, I love Nintendo. I just really love video games. That is how I feel. And I want them all to be good, and I'm so happy when any of them are good, especially again if they're single player microtransaction free experiences. That is my stance. If you're gonna criticize me for anything, it would be that sometimes I get too excited. Like I can get a bit carried away with how excited I am about certain things, and obviously I share that, and if I have influence on you, you could end up being also very excited. But I can't like turn that off. Like I'm just happy to be here, man. And of course, saying this is not going to change the minds of any of these people. Like I know that. But I did want to be clear about the fact that like, wow, why is she allowed to talk about Starfield so much? Like even sane people have been saying that. Like people who are not all over the console war brigade. It's not a thing. There's nobody at Sony who's ever going to tell me that I shouldn't talk about Starfield. People have wondered if there were restrictions, and like, no, of course not. There are no restrictions on me liking video games. All you will ever see from the dev community is people supporting other people's games. It's so weird that you like forget that when there's a big release. Like, it's all over Twitter. People at PlayStation and people at Nintendo are loving Starfield. That's just the way it is. You get excited about the industry.
I ain't gonna cap. I have not seen no Nintendo developers picking up no other. Listen, maybe because I just don't know where to look. But I've never seen Nintendo, I don't see it as much. I'll say I see Nintendo at PlayStation. Yo, do you think Nintendo going at PlayStation and say, hey PlayStation, congrats on releasing Spider-Man 2? I don't think so. That one is some cap right there. You was not about to see Nintendo at PlayStation. Yo, I don't even think I saw Nintendo congratulate Starfield. Did Nintendo at Xbox say, hey, at Xbox, congrats, or at Bethesda, congrats on releasing Starfield? I didn't see no shit like that either. Hey, yo, listen, all I'm saying is, yo, Nintendo, I don't see, yo, we'll see. I don't think Nintendo is going to at PlayStation and say, hey, PlayStation.
But this is great for gamers.
Hey, PlayStation. Congrats on releasing that Spider-Man 2. They might be watching this podcast right now and saying, joke's on you, Persona. I already got the tweet queued up. We'll see. All I'm saying is I rarely see Nintendo, the official Nintendo account, congratulating the other two. Rarely, if at all. I can't even, I'm trying to like think back to a time. I can't actually, when PlayStation announced their state of play and it was on the same day as the Nintendo Direct, I think Nintendo told them good luck and PlayStation said good luck. I remember that, but like game releases, I've never seen Nintendo congratulate Xbox or PlayStation, respectfully. They might have, and I just missed it, and that just might be my ignorance, but I have never seen Nintendo congratulate Xbox or PlayStation, ever.
And just like happy to be a part of it. So in conclusion, I don't care about this stuff and you don't need to share it with me. I prefer if you didn't most of the time. It's not worth it. Second point is the console war stuff that y'all think matters so much doesn't actually matter to anyone on my level. We all just love video games and are excited about video games and new video games being good and having a good time at video games. But
so, shout out to Alana. Round of applause for Alana. Shout out to Alana. Right? What am I doing? Okay. Shout out to Alana, right? Yeah, I agree with a lot of that in the sense of like, I don't think it should matter what a developer is playing, regardless of where they work, right? You think Phil Spencer's not gonna be playing that Spider-Man 2? You think not gonna be playing that Spider-Man 2? Absolutely. He gonna play that Spider-Man 2, and then he gonna go to his developer and say, hey, we need to make some shit like that. Yo, shout out to Phil Spencer. Forte said, I think Reggie will congratulate Xbox and PlayStation when he had the great game releases. When they had the great game releases. Possibly, yeah, I can see Reggie doing something like that. For sure, I can see that. Shout out to Julian, man. I appreciate you for the super chat. He says, my Xbox stench feet. I'm sorry, I smell, but Starfield has me hooked. Yo, shout out to you, Julian, man. It's all good, bro. Yeah, like I don't think there's a big issue with that, right? But I do think that like it is rather strange that like, and this happens every big release, man. It's always a big release, like a release that's coming from like one of the big three. Well, not necessarily Nintendo. We don't really see this too much from Nintendo these days. But like Xbox and PlayStation, whenever there's like a big exclusive release, like it's like the weirdos come out. And again, I think cracking jokes is not an issue, but like calling for people to be fired, attacking devs and stuff like that, y'all know, man, I'm not with all that, man. That stuff is crazy. That stuff is weird. Like that's not what, even if you're a console fanboy, like on some level you have to know that stuff is just weird as fuck, right? Like you would have to know on some level that shit's hella weird. You have to. But again, it's the internet. A lot of people operate on anonymity. So this is what happens. You get faceless weirdos saying and doing the things that they do. Like many other people probably do. I could say a lot, but I don't, because they start telling me, yo, JC, what's up? Yeah, it's ridiculous. Really, people need to grow up. Yo, facts, man. Like, seriously. But yo, in the sense of like, Starfield and its success and like, the reviews and all this other stuff, man, I just think like, yo, it's really strange that like, people are putting a lot of stock into the reviews in the sense of like attacking people, calling for Alana to be fired. I know with IGN and GameSpot, yo, that 7 out of 10 had the hurt. I'm just like, yo, man, listen, enjoy the game, play the game, man. Like, who cares? Like, play and enjoy the game. I'm still gonna crack my jokes though. I don't think there's a big issue with cracking jokes. I stand by that. I really do. Starfield's mid-cess. Yo, let me chill. Oh, yo, I want to talk about gaming pet peeves real quick, man. Cause like, yo, man, I gotta. Where's the tweet? I think I made it yesterday, right, or the day before. I want to talk about gaming pet peeves real quick, guys. And you know what sparked this? Here we go. Gaming pet peeves, man. Gaming pet peeves, guys. Gaming pet peeves. Ain't nothing wrong with jokes. Yo, I crack my jokes all the time, right? Like yo, here's my thing about, like, you know, hold on. Let me get real for a second, man. Here's my thing about, like, you know, like certain influencers and, like, you know, like media and stuff like that. Cause like on one side of this stuff, man, I get what Alana's talking about, but on the other side, some of the very media folks are stoking those console war flames as well, right? And we all know the influence that gaming media has on a lot of people in this in the community. A lot of that stuff is being stoked by the very people who are also trying to play victim. I'm not saying that's Alana, I'm not saying that at all, but we've seen various cases of, like, certain game media sites and stuff like that who are using fanboy talking points, fanboy topics, console war-like things to generate traffic, because obviously we know that stuff is going to generate traffic, it's going to generate clicks, it's going to generate a conversation, right? So we understand the end game and the tactic behind doing so with a lot of them and what they do, because it's going to generate the traffic, right? Regardless of who you are or what side you are affiliated with, if something comes out that's leaning more towards your side or against your side, 9 times out of 10 someone's going to click that, right? So we understand why some of those things are happening the way that they do, but at the same time, I do think that it is pretty disingenuous, especially from, like, certain media publications. I'm not saying it's all, but I do think certain ones are guilty of that, or certain influencers are guilty of this, of stoking those console war flames, so to speak, and then kind of, like, you know, stepping back and saying, oops, I had nothing to do with it, or throwing stones and hiding your hands, or you know, partaking in console war like discussions, right? Because the thing that I always find so strange, guys, and to this day it's so weird to me, right, is, you know, you'll see people say, you know, I'm above console wars, I don't do the console wars, I don't do the petty back and forth, I don't do this, I don't do that, I don't do this and do that and this and that and this and that and this and that. They'll say that, right? Fine, as it should. That's your prerogative, you can do whatever you want, right? But let something pop off that's console war-ish like, or console war adjacent, and they're putting out a tweet, or they're putting out a video or whatever, speaking on it. So it's like, okay, you're not about the console wars, you're not about that toxic negativity and all that other stuff. Fine, great, you know? Why are you constantly speaking on this stuff? You get what I'm saying? That's where, like, I'm looking at it like, why do you keep speaking on this stuff then? If this truly is not the lane that you want to walk down, if this truly isn't the things that you want to partake in, why do you constantly speak on it? Because it generates the traffic, it generates the engagement, it generates attention, and deep down, they enjoy it. And listen, that doesn't make you a bad guy. Listen, gaming debates, discussions, and talks about sales, or like if this game is better than that game or whatever, I think those discussions are great, man. Especially when it's a healthy, fun discussion, right? Like, you know, when Game Awards comes around this December and we're talking about what games deserve Game of the Year and what games don't deserve Game of the Year, you know what? That might be a discussion that me and Barry could have. I'm talking too much. Hold on, let me dial it back. But anyway, you know, when you see like those spaces or tweets or whatever of people pointing out what games do or don't deserve Game of the Year, right? Somebody might view that as like some console war shit, because it's like, how dare you say a game doesn't deserve Game of the Year, right? Or if somebody's Game of the Years are like, mostly PlayStation games or mostly Nintendo, whatever, right? Those console war like debates or discussions that some people may deem as such, they'll want to partake in that. And listen, that's a fun I think that's a very fun discussion to have. What games do and don't deserve Game of the Year. I think that's a very fun discussion, especially, but see, it's only fun if you've actually played the games. You see, it's not fun to have those discussions with people who don't play the games and don't have any experience with the games, because you can't really speak to it in the manner of what somebody who's experiencing the game can speak to it. So you're going to be like a fish out of water in the discussion, right? But I do think that those are really fun discussions. Or when sales come out, I love those discussions. I love to see people backpedal, or when reviews come out, Metacritic, I love to see people backpedal, sidestep, loop-de-loop, somersault their way out of an L, because 2 weeks ago, they were speaking for or against the very thing that happened 2 weeks later. I love it. I love it. And I think a lot of them do too. But see, they've taken this moral high ground in this moral stance that essentially eliminates them from being able to speak on such things, because they will look like a hypocrite. But they still do anyway. And you know who you are. You know. But yo, let's get to this tweet. Listen, I put a tweet out. This is the 7th, yesterday, right? And I was like, oh yeah, question of the day. What's your biggest gaming pet peeve? Let me know in the chat too. What's y'all biggest gaming pet peeve? I'm curious. So mine was people who give unsolicited gaming help, people who hype games they don't have no intentions of buying, playing, or completing, and neutral gamers partaking in console wars. I kind of just spoke about that when it comes to certain people who try to take this neutral stance but constantly speak on the console war stuff, but they try to speak about it from a neutral place, and they end up looking foolish, because it's like, how can you have a stance on either? Here's my thing about this whole neutral stance, right? Like, if you're somebody that just loves games and whatever, and just want to give your thoughts, like, all right, fine, like I get that, that's fine, like whatever. It's the people who just like try too hard to give like this really neutral stance, to try to come off as this super neutral person. Like, I'm neutral, I love everything. Like almost toxic positivity, right? But then can lean one way or the other when it comes to a discussion. It's like, that's not neutral. Neutral is someone who leans neither way and remains neutral. You get what I'm saying? Like, anyway, that stuff is just kind of, that stuff is just like, it's a big pet peeve, because it's just like, bro, you can have your preference, man. It's okay. You can still speak on everything else, but you can also have your preference. I do. I prefer PlayStation, but I speak on everything. It's crazy. But people who give unsolicited gaming help. Yo, listen, I've said this before. I'll say it again, and I'll keep saying it to the ends of the earth, to the end of time. Unless I explicitly ask, don't give me no gaming help. I've said that a million times, right? I don't need opinions, I don't need pointers, I don't need advice unless I explicitly ask. I hate when people try to do that, of like they call themselves trying to help you, as if like you didn't already know. Like, you too stupid. Like, they're assuming you're too stupid to figure things out, so they're trying to like help you or whatever. Like, unless I explicitly ask, don't do that. I don't need gaming help. I will never ever need the help unless I explicitly ask. Like, yo man, how'd y'all do this? Yo man, how'd y'all do that? But that's a big pet peeve of mine, right? The other one is people who hype games or have no intention of buying, playing, or completing. Yo, look, man. Yo, man, I think we've seen this a million times when it comes to like the community, and like people that tend to hype up games and try to push certain games, and stuff like that. But then when the game comes out, they go ghost. or they don't beat the game, or they don't play the game, or don't buy it, whatever. You know, I just think stuff like that to me is just really, it's really disingenuous, but it's also like really I feel like it's like really disrespectful to the hobby, so to speak, because it's like, yo, man, you know, you hyping all these games but ain't buying and playing them, or you're not playing them, and it just comes off really disingenuous to me. And I'm kind of just like, yo, Mary, what's good? Shout out to y'all in the chat, man. Yo, Henry, I appreciate you for super chat. It says they hate console wars, but they're in the mud too. Absolutely, 100%. And then shout out to Viper Reaps Corner in the chat. Shout out to Viper. He says, don't forget to pull the trigger to kill people in COD. Yo, shout out to Viper, bro. Oh man, for people on podcasts and spaces all day, but talk about their backlog. Ooh, T Harris. Ooh. Ayo, T Harris, man, you being real messy on that one, but I agree. You being messy, T Harris. You too messy. You being way too messy, but I agree 100%. I agree. That's a good game of pet peeve. People that be in spaces all day, but be talking about their backlog, or talking about they can't. There's games that they like can't play or whatever because, you know, they don't have the time, but in spaces all day. I agree with that 100%. Yo, shout out to Uppercase J, man. Appreciate you. 24 months, 2 years, Jamil. 2 years. Shout out to my bro Jamil, man. 2 years as a member on the channel. He says, my gaming pet peeve is disingenuous criticism and misinformation concerning games. So you can imagine how irritated I've been the past week. Yo, that's a fact. Yo, Jamil is that man of the fun police, right? Disingenuous criticism. I get that with the disingenuous criticism. I don't think I think sometimes though some people may look at who's giving the criticism and view it as disingenuous because of their preference. I don't think that's right? If what the criticism is comes from a play, like if it's a valid criticism, I don't think you can disregard the criticism or view it as disingenuous because of the messenger, especially if it's valid. You feel me? Like if a game is buggy or it's got bad performance, regardless if it's a fanboy or like whoever's saying it, regardless of the messenger, if that's the case, then that's the case. You feel me? But I do think the misinformation part, though, I agree with you 100%. I you know, and we tend to see that a lot, especially with it being the internet. People, you know, spreading misinformation here and there and everywhere, man. It's absolutely crazy the stuff that people do when it comes to like this misinformation shit, right? Which is why, like, I just think it's really important. I always tell people this too, man. Always do your own research and never take things at face value, right? Because there's always going to be somebody trying to push something for a slant, right? That's why, like, yo, for me, I love to like show off. I give you the whole story, the whole picture, regardless if it's good or bad, and let you come to your own educated conclusion. Obviously, I'll give my opinion as well, but I like to give the whole picture, man, because that's the right thing to do, right? Jamil says that's a legit criticism if there's a bug, but if someone gives a criticism that you can tell is them grasping for straws, is whack. I agree with that, and it's definitely I can see both sides of that, Jamil, in the sense of like if somebody is like being real disingenuous and, you know, saying like, you know, oh, I don't like Marcus Phoenix because he has a beard, and I think the game is bad. Like, yeah, that's real disingenuous. That's bullshit. So I get what you mean. I get what you mean with that. $20 games, media articles with little to no research. Yo, that's a good pet peeve, man. Some articles that just have like no information, or they didn't do proper research before putting out the article. Yeah, that stuff is definitely really bad. A game I recently played and beat from my backlog was Assassin's Creed Origins. Great game on PlayStation 5. Yo, Assassin's Creed Origins is a great game, man. Like, definitely loving that game a lot. That's a fact. Shout out to Beer Gang. Oh man, both uppercase and Barrio bots. That's crazy. But yo, listen, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed the show. Episode 139, when Persona Speaks. I think I've talked you guys' ear off enough. It's Friday. Go play some games. Go be with your family. Go eat dinner. Whatever you're doing, man. Go enjoy your weekend. Persona, my pet peeve is the disregard of facts like sales, unless your side benefits from it. That's a good one, Jeff. And a lot of people do that. A lot of people try to disregard or minimize the importance of a game selling unless it benefits them. And we see that a lot on a specific side. I'll let you guys deduce what side I'm talking about. I think we all know. I think we all know what side I'm talking about. I'll let you figure it out, right? But yo, listen, guys, I appreciate y'all so much. Listen, round of applause for the folks in the chat. Big round of applause for the folks in the chat. Listen, guys, I appreciate you guys so much rocking out with me on today's episode. I know it's been a while. Your boy is back, man. I'm gonna be posting up some more Sea of Stars boss fights throughout the weekend. Yo, listen, I'm gonna bring a new series to the channel as well, right? 2 new series. The second series I'm still working out. The first series is, I was thinking about this for a while, and I'll probably start it this Sunday. I'll see how I feel. But I want to bring a series called Learning the Hitbox, Street Fighter 6 edition, where every Sunday I would stream Street Fighter 6 and learn the hitbox. Like learn to get good. I got the snack box from Junk Food Arcade. I showed it off last weekend on What's Up PlayStation podcast. But I think I might do that series, learning the hitbox with Street Fighter 6. We'll see. Yo, shout out to Game Forte. Says my gaming pet peeve is when people say how bad COD, NBA, and Madden is every year, but continue to buy said game, which is all I've been hearing today at work. Hey, yo, no cap. This Modern Warfare 2 shit is a bad Call of Duty. I still bought it though, so yeah, I get what you mean by that 100%. For sure. For sure, I get that. So yeah, I might do that series. It's hard to quit COD cold turkey. Yo, listen, Call of Duty is a series that I really do love, man. Like it's a great series. This is a franchise I truly love. So when I'm really critical of COD, it's not me coming from a place of hatred. It's me coming from a place of love, really and truly, because I love this franchise so much, and I know how good this franchise can truly be. So when I'm being extra critical of COD and saying, yeah, this game is trash or this game is just not, that's me really being critical and being genuine, because I want the game to be better. I want the next game to be better, and there's certain fundamentals and stuff like that with Call of Duty that I know are missing from Modern Warfare 2 that fundamentally make this a bad Call of Duty game. Like, straight up. I've been playing COD for decades. This is fundamentally a bad Call of Duty game from a fundamental standpoint. But yeah, listen, guys, I appreciate y'all, man. One more round of applause for the folks in the chat. I appreciate y'all so much, man. I hope you guys enjoy the weekend. Listen, tomorrow morning, 11 a.m., What's Up PlayStation podcast with me and Bari. It might be a pretty light episode. The news ain't been too plentiful this week, so me and Bari might be having to wing it tomorrow. We'll see. But yeah, tomorrow morning, What's Up PlayStation podcast, me and Bari, and then yeah, more Sea of Stars boss fights posted on the channel. And I think I'm gonna start my Hitbox series on Sunday after Plus Unblocked podcast. Plus Unblocked podcast with Upchuck Gaming and Dre every Sunday, 11:30 on their channel. Link is in the description. Mooch is live right now, so make sure you guys go check out Crossfire Podcast. That's on Mooch's channel as well. Make sure you guys check that out. And yeah, man, listen, I appreciate y'all, man. Y'all be safe. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Enjoy your Friday evening. Be safe for whatever you're gonna do. And more importantly, have fun, right? So yeah, all right, guys. Bring your boy Persona, and I'm out, guys. Peace.